Either way, Walker Mayment in row 1, Moore and Maslow in row 2, Killarney and Haas in row 3, Krylo and Kovac in row number 4. Eyes on the starter, and it is an early green flag as we wave out to 2-3 wide. And here comes several drivers, but I gotta say this, Mayment trying to make the most that he can. Moore tries to go to the inside of Walker, not gonna make it happen so far as they're side by side for second place. Walker gets away nice and clean, but everybody trying to slice and dice their way through traffic. Killarney comes from the 5th spot, and he's going to make his way up to 3rd, or at least try to, as he tries to go around the high side. He's going to settle for 4th so far, so at least one move has been made with Killarney taking that position away, as Rob Walker and Nigel Mayment are starting to open up just a little bit of a gap between the rest of the field. Green flag for the second wave as they make their way around turn number 1. We got our eyes on this lead pack. Is Spec Boxster looking pretty good so far, as everybody making their way through turn 4 at this point, downhill through turn 5, and now setting for turn number 6. That's Rob Walker trying to make a clean sweep of the weekend here at Willow Springs, up and down through the Monroe Ridge, down through Wings Leg. We'll see the field snake their way through, and back there and coming around turn 4, you see John Momeyer trying to get around the inside of one of the GT7 competitors, and he's going to not be able to do that, as those 944s are going to open up just a little bit bigger gap coming around turn number 6. Again, we're working 12 laps here today, as the leaders coming down the front straightaway. It's Walker, Mayment, and Moore. 1, 2, 3. Got a battle for position with, it looks like Maslow in a battle there for position. Indeed, that is actually Killarney falling back just a little bit, with Maslow finally reeling in the 227, and Maslow gets that spot. And now Larry Haas looks like he wants a shot at 6th place right now, or 5th place, I should say, as Maslow moves up into 4th place. Little high back there between Krylo and Kovac. Then you got Abrams and Gold racing for position. And of course, I hate to say it, I kind of jinxed the wind, not only in and around the track. You see how much it is starting to shake. The good news is we're not seeing any fires around, so I won't have to worry too much about that. But your top 3, they have started to check out as they're coming around turn number 6. And they'll come down through 7, but Maslow gets around Killarney quite cleanly. Krylo and Kovac in a battle for 7th spot right there. Of course, you got Adam Abrams, David Gold also battling for position. Brian O'Meara, the interested spectator in that battle. Also watching Alicia Ray and Kunal Hinduja go toe-to-toe once again with Gil Briganti, the interested spectator. And Mike Porteous not too far away from that battle. Trying to see any other battles, and near the back, everybody kind of strung out in the different classes so far. But keep an eye now on the, we'll call it the Killarney Haas battle, as Larry Haas really shown quite well so far this weekend. And he looks to the inside, not going to make it happen behind them. You've got Krylo trying to keep Kovac behind him, and not going to make that happen, as Kovac with a good run coming off of turn number 1. I was going to say about Larry Haas, he has 2 best finishes so far this season, with 6th yesterday, 7th earlier this morning. And of course, if he goes up to continues his climb up through the field and into the top 5, it's going to be a great showing for Larry Haas. As we said, got the Hard Charger Award yesterday, so no surprise that he's making his way all the way up through the field. Finally found that extra gear. Of course, knocking at his door right there is none other than Kovac. So Branimir looking pretty good in that number 318. You see first and second making their way through turn number 8. They've gapped Ryan Moore just a little bit, but Maslow, looking at the lap times, he's not closing in too much. Got a battle further back there, and that looks like it's Karen Robinson and Brian O'Meara. I'm sorry, that's going to be Brian O'Meara. Karen Robinson, Brian O'Meara As you see, Mike Porteous looks like he's finally making his way up through the pack. He was 15th overall. I think that he is leapfrog Ray and O'Meara. Will confirm that through timing and actually confirming it with my own two eyes. As Porteous closing in on O'Meara and Robinson here. Good coming off of turn number 9. So whatever Porteous found, he found it pretty quick. Of course, he's running 2 seconds a lap faster than most of this pack. Now he's got to get around O'Meara and Abrams, which I think he's going to do quite handily. But no, O'Meara's going to go around the inside there of Abrams, and they're side by side. Porteous and Abrams are. That is for the 12th spot as O'Meara goes up to 11th. And now it's going to be harder for Porteous to try and get around. He goes high, wide, and handsome around turn number 2, and he's going to make that pass happen. But now he has his sights set on the 704 of Adam Abrams. And I think once he does that, it's going to be game on for Mike Porteous. He started from pit road, had to get around the second wave, and now has his sights set on trying to close in. And he's going to have another 6 seconds before he catches up to the top 10, but still O'Meara and Porteous battling for position here to get themselves closer to the top 10. But Gold, he's basically in a zip code of his own between this battle, as he's running 2 seconds faster than these guys. I think Porteous may have lost a little bit of ground there. Not sure if that we can confirm that once we get across the line, as working 8 laps to go. Andrew Wayman. There's David Gold. Here in Killarney, may have lost another spot in turn 1 to Larry Haas. Haas trying to close in on the best finish of the season for him, as O'Meara and Porteous battling for that 11th spot. We'll see them come into picture here momentarily. But Nick Killarney, after winning last race out, I should say, or winning at the race 2 in Buttonwillow, just having so many problems trying to get a good finish together here at Willow Springs. Of course, we have a couple months off for him to kind of find that extra juice once we get to the historic WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, July 31st through August 2nd. So plenty of time. And here's the thing, Larry Haas is stepping away, and now Kovac knocking at the door of Killarney as well. So we'll see how long it takes for Kovac to get around Killarney. You see back there, those battles still heating up, and I do see that once again, you got O'Meara and Porteous, and you got a little bit of a gap back to Abrams, another back to the Hinduja Ray battle for the Spec Boxster class as well. By the way, in Spec 2.7, Mo Meyer with a 30-second gap over Vivek Hazari. That's not a safe gap, because we know that Hazari, once he finds that extra oomph, he usually gets up closer to Mo Meyer in GT5. As Basia Zoris, your GT5 competitor, Chris McDuff, who we had in Spec Boxer, looks like he's made the change to GT5. So that's an interesting development here in the last couple of seconds, I should say, before the race. Now, remember, he was McDuff had a good showing in the Spec Boxer class with a 3rd and a 4th, so he made some changes in that GT4. Rob Walker, though, oh boy, he's got Nigel Maidment to deal with here in just a little bit. As you see Mike Porteous trying to get up into 11th around Brian O'Meara. They're losing ground to David Gold, who's, by the way, 8.4 seconds ahead. Hello, little high there, but still a decent line going into turn 4. But the 170 of Mike Porteous, who's 9:18 on the screen, he's going to get that position. Go to the GT7 battle coming out of turn 7, or it's between Fretch and Burgum. Half a second separate those two. Oh, we've also got one eye on our battle for the lead, where Maidment, for some reason, has caught Rob Walker. It's a matter of passing, but let's also keep an eye on this battle here between Kilani and Kovac. Let's see if Kovac decides to go to the inside. He's going to look to the inside there of Kilani, and indeed, he's going to get that position through turn number 1. So Nick Kilani having so many problems, and that's going to give Krylo a chance to close in as Kilani shuts the door on Krylo coming out of turn 1, heading into turn number 2. They're nose to tail through 2 and heading into 3 as we're keeping one eye on that, one eye on our lead. And once again, like most Orange race weekends, there's this one race where everybody finds everybody else, and they're oh so close to one another. So yeah, you got the battle for the lead we're watching. The battle for, we'll call it 5th place because now Kovac has closed in on Haas for position. There's your battle for the lead right there. And I've got to say, it's absolutely fantastic to see Nigel Maidment close in on Rob Walker. Now there's your GT7 lead, as it still looks like that the 22 is indeed ahead of the 713. So Ted Fretch ahead of Randy Bergram. You'll see them come into picture here shortly. And Rob Walker's doing a heck offensive master job as Randy Bergram's going to come to the inside, and he's going to get the lead GT7 for the time being. But I'm kind of curious why Rob Walker is using the snake early on. But here's the thing. He sees the lap traffic ahead of him. Let's see how they play out as they come through, as we got a car spun off in turn number 6. Not sure who that is, as they're going to back towards the tire wall a little bit. And Nick Kilani losing off to John Krylo there. But now the battle for the lead. Oh, man, I'll tell you what. If I am Rob Walker, I'm thanking my lucky stars that A, I made the pass when I did. B, that I was able to use one of the cars as a pick, because now that that gap between Walker and Maidment, it's at least doubled this time by. And of course, that also had a little bit of an opening there for Randy Bergram, but Fretch has caught up to Randy Bergram, and we're not sure who that was. I think that's going to be Branimir Kovac that spun off there in turn number 6 as he is falling down the order as Momeyer and Hazari have gone by, and it does look like that, yes, that is Branimir Kovac who spun off in turn number 6. So that's going to be another pick that Rob Walker will have to worry about here. But here's the thing. Branimir has been pretty quick, almost on the pace of the leaders. Now you've got this battle for position closer to the back of the pack, and that's going to be it's like one of the blue. We got Kunal Hinduja, Alicia Ray, Gilbert Genty involved in this one. And I believe that is, yes, it is definitely going to be the 704 of Adam Abrams leading that train. So right now it's Abrams, Ray, Hinduja, Briganti. We'll see that all swap over as they come across the line, because last time by, Ray was behind Hinduja by 0.034 seconds. So she was going to make that pass off into turn 1. She did indeed. Of course, up ahead of them, you've got Porteous and O'Meara in a battle for position with one another. There you saw your Spec 2.7 leader John Momeyer coming around that final turn. Porteous coming from the back of the pack, trying to make some sort of pass, as look at how many passes we have into turn 1 today, as you see the field working their way around once again. And this time, Hinduja gets around Ray. It's close again, once again. So Ray just having problems with turn 1. We'll see if she can close in. And you see right there, there's the O'Meara Porteous battles. They're locked in, heading out of turn number 2 and into turn number 3. They're still side by side, but now O'Meara able to close the door on that right behind them. Abrams leading what is a tighter train than we've seen the past couple of laps, as Hinduja has finally found that extra bit of oomph to get up there. And you see the gap now that Walker has on Maidment, and it's, like I said, when I said it doubled, I'm more than doubled right there. But still watching this battle, a couple of great battles here between O'Meara and Porteous for 12th overall in 10th in class. And yeah, Abrams, Hinduja, Ray, and Bergenti sitting back there. Of course, now that brings in John Momeyer possibly to the fray, as he is not too far away. You're on board with the POC president, as there's a 2 packs of 2 there, but you look out of the back and you don't see anyone, which is absolutely fantastic for Momeyer as he makes his way around that final corner, sets up for the straightaway here at Willow Springs. Down the front straightaway, Chris McDuff with the fastest lap of the race, 31:035. So McDuff starting to think that he made a good move going from Spec Boxster to GT5 in the past couple of hours. Here comes Hinduja to get around Abrams for that 12th spot. Indeed, he's going to make that pass look easy, but Bergenti trying to see what he can do to get around Alicia Ray for 13th in class. And of course, John Momeyer has finally found his head of steam, and he is caught up to the back of this pack, so he gets around Bergenti. Now sets his sights for the Ray and Abrams battle, as Abrams has fallen back just even further since Kunal Hinduja passed him just a couple of corners. And right now you see the downhill through turn number 5 and 6. Work their way on the left-hander 5, and then up and over the Monroe Ridge. Down Wings leg, they'll come in just a little bit. And of course, all Alicia can do is just sit there and just let him pass here on this braking zone going into turn number 8. But she's not going to make it easy on John, which is no surprise. Why would you? In spite of being out of class, you want to make sure that you're still staying up in front. But those Toyo tires looking pretty good right now on that Spec Boxster. Of course, this is the last time they'll have to run those this weekend. And Alicia lets John by down the front straightaway. They come once again past the pit entrance. 2 laps to go for the field right now, as Rob Walker holding on to a pretty decent gap now. It's 6 seconds. Oh, there's a spin right there as O'Meara goes for a slide. Hopefully he didn't catch Porteous, and Porteous indeed goes around. So Porteous gets up 1 spot. That'll end that battle, as O'Meara, he's just sitting there watching traffic come at him. Oh, you saw that with Momeyer. Everybody able to get by. And now you see O'Meara finally able to point the car forward and go move. Tell you what, that's not something that that's not something that anyone wanted to see. White flag is out as Rob Walker once again puts on a clinic so far with Nigel Maidment 6 seconds behind earlier. Let's see what he is this time by. I think Maidment realized that he wouldn't be able to catch up to the master that is Rob Walker. And in the lead right now, as here comes your leader through turn number 4, up and over the ridge. He'll go downhill for just a little bit. Now there's a couple of cars up ahead that he can lap if he so desires. One of them is Vivek Hazari, but I don't think that he's going to push too hard because he's got a 7.7 second lead over Nigel Maidment. Down near turn number 6 they come, and now into 7, setting up for turn number 8. There's Maidment coming through turn number 7, but once again, Rob Walker completes the full sweep. As he comes around turn number 9, he can just coast from here, and the win will be his. Off of turn number 9, checkered flag is out. Rob Walker makes it a complete sweep, 3 for 3 on the weekend. He's your winner in Spec Boxster.